TIL. The biohazard symbol didn't symbolize or refer to anything originally. It's simply a shape that was picked as being symmetrical, hard to mistake, and easy to remember. It and the radioactive symbol were designed to be simple and memorable but with no pre-existing meaning attached to them. And they've worked incredibly well. I still remember the one time I was driving and I saw a truck with multiple huge radioactive symbols on its cargo and it made my blood run cold for a second. It was probably transporting medical or lab equipment but still was surreal to suddenly see it in the wild. It also follows a similar design motif to the nuclear symbol while being visually distinct. And, gear, communicates a certain sense of danger, hostility in its design. Also, hasn't the research found the majority of people can't even recognize the nuclear biohazard other hazard symbols anyway? Even in well-educated first world countries like America? I remember reading that somewhere. I remember reading about the massive effort that was put into creating warnings for nuclear waste storage sites. And basically they have to consider all modern human language and cultural imagery, etc. was completely lost. You might as well be designing a warning label of some entirely different primitive species or an alien one. Ops title is misleading at best and completely wrong at worst, according to their own source. The symbol was designed explicitly to warn of biohazards that simply didn't exist before it was designed. That's like saying the Nike swoosh logo didn't symbolize or refer to anything originally. It didn't exist originally. While the radiation symbol is almost pretty looking in a weird way like a stingray or something, the biohazard symbol always makes me think of biting critters. Like an earwig or something. Please don't respond with earwigs don't sting with their tails. That's not the point. The symbol almost irritates my trypophobia. I've mistook this symbol for radiation, radioactive, before, biohazard. In fact, just now I was thinking 3 circles like electron orbits or some shit. I'm untrained. Is this really so different it can't be mistaken? Perhaps it's okay because they both mean danger. The peace sign is a design of the letters C and D campaign for nuclear disarmament. Peace text these 20 days 20 U20 C20 it, known 20 as 20 the 20 C and D20 symbol. It has always looked vaguely threatening. But that might just be the context. Sharps boxes and sample cups and big scary labs. I imagine if the first place you saw it was on a superhero's chest, you'd feel differently about it. I always associate it with sharp spins at the doctors because of the sharp points to the circles. Obviously being a child, I thought of it as a visual representation of needles, and I've never thought any more of it. Also meant to stand the test of time. Be scary to possible future visitors or versions of ourselves with no memory of modern society, e.g. tens of thousands of years after nuclear war, other collapse of civilization. Also easily constructed with drafting tools or vector graphics. One thing about a skull is that it's often hand-drawn due to the complex shape. And vector graphic skulls often look adorable rather than scary. Is it just me, or is it inherently a bit off-putting, almost spider-like? Feels like if I'd never seen it before but knew it was a symbol representing something, I would guess dangerous before safe. They did a study of a variety of different symbols and this and the nuclear symbol were labeled as the most meaningless specifically so there was no way it could be confused for anything else. Fun fact, a lot of young men got this tattoo in '90s because they thought it looked cool. Not knowing that this was wildly used by the gay community, specifically for those who had contracted HIV. My first sighting of the symbol was in the interior parts of the SNES Jurassic Park game. The low-res image looked like a Fu Manchu face to me at the time, which made no sense in that context. I worked in a field that I saw this frequently, and I always thought it was so clever, the way they depicted a pathogen escaping a confined area so effectively. Fun trivia, there's a very similar looking Japanese family crest, a triple dot character. That's awesome. Some graphic designer was probably like, this is a neat symbol, then some bureaucratic is like, nah, it's about to be ominous as fuck. I always thought it looked more like radiation hazard than the radiation symbol. I guess it also looks kinda like the tops of some canisters. Isn't that the same for every symbol? Red octagons didn't have any meaning until we started writing stop on them and using them as stop signs. By the way, it wasn't no atom bomb. Turns out some skateboarder slapped a biohazard band sticker on the side of this septic tank for an RV. I've never thought much about it. But it almost looks like fangs, toxic venom and inherently dangerous. Interesting, it's just nothing lol. I always thought it meant this would happen to you. Like you're gonna turn into a mutant and random shit will start growing out of you. Isn't that how every symbol in existence is? I don't get it. You draw a new symbol, it has no meaning. You give it a meaning. Viola mentioned in my bill that his Ariat logo on his jacket looked like a biohazard symbol. He was visibly irritated and denied the likeness. I see the symbol regularly at my workplace. It never loses its meaning to me, and every time I see it, it stands out like a sore thumb. Something nearby will fuck you and or your offspring up, in a disturbingly organic manner. It's a perfect encapsulation of this, and look menacing enough that people will be warned off in thousands of years when literacy might not be around anymore. Hard to mistake? I used to always mistake the radiation symbol with biohazard as a kid who loved zombie-related stuff. Literally every symbol ever created didn't symbolize anything before it was first created. What a weird title! When I was a kid and my vision was shit, I thought it was an angry, evil-looking face and it creeped me out. The Twitter logo didn't originally represent Twitter until someone designed it and assigned meaning to it. It immediately makes me think of something foreign and somewhat aggressive, which works for its purpose. Easy to remember. When you see one, maybe. But fuck me if I ever tried to draw the thing from memory. I heard way back somewhere that it was common for gay people to get biohazard tattoo if they had AIDS. The design was chosen because we subconsciously associate it with the plague god of the immaterium. Isn't that true for all symbols? Nothing has a meaning besides the one that is given to it by us. Our question, not me, actually only happens to others. I can't deny reality as life gets smothered. I always thought it was reminiscent of the circular finger grips on older, reusable syringes. I always imagined it representing a dead cell rupturing and its contents leaking everywhere. The biohazard symbol not existing until we needed a biohazard symbol makes perfect sense. The symbol didn't symbolize anything until it had something to be a symbol for. No shit. Looks like the symbol of Nurgle, the plague god. Or more likely the exact opposite. I always thought it was a top-down view of the toxic fumes coming out of a barrel. Lol. Did this article quote fucking Dan Brown? I'm not reading beyond that. What the fuck? Huh. So that guy that stuck it on the elf in that one manga had the right idea. The way you described it is exactly the opposite of jobs involving this symbol. It's fucking hard to freehand draw, been practicing since I was a kid. So, not rhinoceros beetle pinchers, huh? There goes my theory. To be fair, no symbol has any meaning until one is applied. Nothing means anything unless someone assigns a meaning to it. That is pretty much true for all symbols. What am I missing? I always thought it resembled the front-on view of a gas mask, and now it represents how many blocks it is to the subway. Go far back enough and you could say this about anything. Yeah, but it looks hazardy in a bio kind of way. You know, I've used this emblem as a personal logo for 20 years. I always get this one correct in my UMass course lol. I was told it was the 3 lenses of a microscope,